Well. Hello and welcome to Brown Girl Bella's Bella After Dark, where we unwind, we whine, and we have some wine. I want to thank you all for joining us. I want to shout out some people who are in the building. Eat to Live Strong. Thank you so much for coming, Soror. Auntie Wendy, my Aunt Wendy. Thank you for coming. My sis, April WYD. I see you. My main man, DOD. What's going on? Zara's vlog. How are you? Vern's Junk Closet. Yes, I'm a little tardy for the party. Had to go get my wine, Verns. But I am here and I am ready. Are y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Typically Queen, I see you, sis. Hello, welcome. Lanessa. Hi, boo. New to the fold. Thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us. Girl, you are in for a good time because these Bella After Darks get real steamy. So don't be shy. Give us your opinion. I love to hear them. So definitely want to say hi to Deja TV. I see you, boo. I see you out here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thumbs up. Yes, Burns, you need some wine. You know how it go for unwind, wine, and wine. You know how we do this thing. Life with Triple T, I see you. Sis, I sent you a note on IG. We got to get together. We might be in the same spot. So yes, let's talk about it. So entanglements. So I have been doing a lot of reading on this topic because as you might imagine, I was very fascinated by this whole thing that's going on between Will and Jada. And I just came across the following article. It's in Slate magazine and it's online at slate.com. That's SLATE.com. And I'm going to read you a little bit of what they had to say because it's very, very interesting. So it begins with, Jada Pinkett Smith's announcement earlier this month that she was bringing herself to her infamous red table in service of what she called some healing, quote unquote, that needs to happen, was already guaranteed to make some waves. Even if we weren't in the middle of summer and starved for new content, the news that the Pinkett Smiths were going to address the latest rounds of rumors circling around their marriage in depth for the first time would have been required viewing for the swath of America. But in the middle of our ongoing pandemic, Friday's very special episode of the Red Table Talk became 2020's first genuine blockbuster. That's right, it was a summer blockbuster, raking up millions of views within the first hour of publication and tens of millions in the days since. An extraordinary burst of sound and fury that, when all is said and done, revealed next to nothing. Hey there, I see somebody came in. Lady Net, hello, thank you for coming. So, over the course of a tight, and I do mean tight, because if y'all seen it, you could see the body language radiating across the table was crazy. The tight 12 minutes. The show's episodes do normally, they average around 40 minutes in length, but in a tight 12 minutes, the Pinkett Smiths managed to present the feeling of a confessional while actually confessing very little. They also walked a tight tightrope, balancing the need to present a united front for the necessity of exposing the fractures of their nearly 25-year-old marriage. Dressed in matching blue shirts and denim, the couple mostly confirmed singer-songwriter August Alsina's recent revelation that he and Jada had an affair. Or, as she called it, an entanglement. I like that word, entanglement. And we'll dive more deeper into that in a minute. How many of y'all believe that Will was largely aware of or was largely unaware of? Because I kind of think he knew. And while he knew, they also kind of confirmed that they were still going to be partners for life, that their bond was deeper than the average viewer could really ever understand. In other words, despite the seemingly juicy reveal last week, I find that it was nothing more than a remix on the standard responses that the couple has given for years whenever confronted that rumors of their marriage are monogamish. Other words, they get down and they swing from left to right to front to center. Vern said, laugh out loud, she is a predator. She's something. For the uninitiated, the Red Table Talk is, as you guessed it, a talk show, one that's typically hosted by Jada Pinkett Smith, her mother, Adrienne Banfield Norris, and her daughter, Willow Smith, on Facebook Watch. The show has featured Black luminaries from Toni Braxton to Snoop Dogg. In what was perhaps, before this month, the most famous episode, Pinkett interviewed Jordan Woods, who was at the time in the middle of her own entanglement with the Kardashian-Jenner cheating scandal. The show is framed as a conduit of radical honesty. In one 2018 episode, Pinkett Smith sat down with her husband's first wife, Cherie Fletcher, and the conversation they had about navigating their roles in each other's lives was refreshing, frank, and intimate. This was the kind of dialogue that viewers expected when the Pinkett Smiths decided to take on head-on this chatter around their marriage that rose to a fever pitch after Alsina did an interview with the radio's most influential chaos agent, The Breakfast Club. That's a New York City radio station. After all, here's what Alsina had to say of his affair with Jada. I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they had spoken of several times, and it, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. For years of my life. So this man entered into an affair with Jada Pinkett Smith for years. Let me see what y'all have to say so far. Yes, friends, let them know this is not a growth stream, but you can connect the right way. So not just grabbing up people, but generally going to their site, looking at their content, liking their content, leaving a genuine comment about that content, and then coming back and letting them know that you left them a package at their door so they can go back and do the same for you. Okay? Thank you all. Yes, big and hurt. Vern says she's a predator. Life with Triple T. So what I heard is that Red Table Talk was not getting as much views as they used to, and they needed something to break their audiences. I haven't watched it though. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second, Life with Triple T, because I really think after it's all said and done, this was nothing more than a publicity stunt. And they, like I said, they really did not reveal anything that we didn't already know or suspect about their marriage. So what was the healing that came from this? And we're going to dive into that in a second as well. Didn't they have an open relationship? Yeah, I think they do have an open relationship. We're going to get into an entanglement. That's right. Hello, Maz in chat. Thank you. April says, I think he didn't know. That is why he's hurt. But he knew all about it. That he would have been okay with it because they have an open marriage. Yeah, I mean, I was going to get into this later, but I really feel as though he already knew, because he admitted, he said, I was done with you. So when a man tells you he's done with you, it usually means he's stepped off and he's moved on. And this is just what it is. We're here, we're roommates, we're, life partners. We're going to do the doggone thing because we're not going to get a divorce. But I'm really not feeling you in that way. And you really not feeling me in that way. So we just going to coast for the rest of the time that we're together. That's how I feel. But I feel like when August was really getting into his feelings about Jada and really, having feelings for her, romantic feelings for her, I think that took it to another level, personally. All right. Oh, Ice Heart is here. Thank you. Thank you so much, Base, for coming. If you don't have Ice Heart, grab him up. Excellent gamer. He's going to teach me a thing or two about gaming because I know nothing. But thank you so much for coming. I hope your tooth feels better. I heard you have a toothache. April says, and Will didn't know it for years. That's why he was hurt. He didn't like feelings were involved. Yeah, when you have an open marriage, you can be with other people. You just can't get feelings. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I don't think he thought that they had genuine feelings for each other. She used that opportunity to make herself feel good, and that's why she used big ones. And then he tried to be hard. Yeah, no problem. Hey, Foodie. She said, hey, Pooh, I'm uploading my video right now, but to have you running. Thank you, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ice Heart is saying hi to April. Yes, Foodie Squad, mount up. Exactly. Okay, so let's continue on with this article. So this seemed to attest to what many observers of the Pinkett-Smith union had guessed for years, that the two are in an open relationship of sorts, or more cynically, that they are primarily business partners. And while the couple's confirmation of most of Alcina's account initially reads as the most significant tidbit to come out of the sit-down, there is subtler work being done here. In confessing to an entanglement, Will and Jada might theoretically have opened up the conversation that would address rumors that are at this point at least 15 years old. But the episode wasn't meant to open up a conversation. It was supposed to be meant to end one. And by saying that the relationship happened during a separation, or as Will put it, when he was done with your ass, that's more or less what the couple did. So in talking about their separation, the two are perhaps at the most honest that we've ever seen them. But for the tabloid-friendly disclosures, there is even more left unsaid. They never delved into what caused the separation. That's what I wanted to know. What caused the separation? Because if you remember and think back to about 4 or 5 years ago, you heard a lot of rumors about him kind of stepping out with co-stars. You heard a lot about her kind of being on her own and doing her own thing, and them not being in the same house together. There was a lot of chatter about them around this time. Hi, Jan. I see you. Saying greetings from the Philippines. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, if you can share me out, please do so. Thank you so much. I'd be so appreciative. And don't forget to give me those thumbs up. That'll really help this channel out a lot. Thank you. So what we were saying, we said they never delved into what caused the separation. They just stated that it was necessary and that it strengthened their life partnership, which alludes to Will getting back at Jada for the Alcina affair. And she responds that he already has. Remember that tidbit? Remember that tidbit when she said, oh, you already have? And then she kind of, he kind of reiterated it again. And then she was like, all right, you want to keep going there? Okay. Hey, more eats. Oh, no problem. No problem. Listen, we're all family and I know things happen. So when one has to step away and do some stuff, the other one pitches in. That's how we do. So don't worry about it. Yes, and boom, boom, boom. Thank you so much for coming, sweetie. So she responds that he already has, but if the separation was mutual, that raises a question. Why any sort of revenge would be even necessary? Let me state that again for those who might not have heard me. If this is a life partnership and the separation was mutual, why would you need any sort of revenge? We'll get to that in a moment. The whole thesis could be written up in one long groan that Will Smith lets out when the two fist bumps after saying, we ride together, we die together. Bad marriage for life. By the end of the 12 minutes of therapy speak, there are more questions than there were before this whole thing started. And in framing the frankest discussion of their marriage to date, they managed to get away with saying very little. All that we were really left with is a confirmation of what Alcina said, which in a way does kind of break ground for a couple that has mostly preferred to keep their relationship under wraps. But really, did they reveal anything that we did not know? And of course, all of this is their prerogative. They owe us nothing. And for the price that we pay for our movie tickets and watching a few ads, this sickly produced come to Jesus moment is left feeling hollow and nothing more than a testament to their public relations savvy. But let's talk about it. Let's first delve into what you guys think. Thank you so much, Jan, for sharing me out. I appreciate it. Thank you to the 13 in the building. Let's open it up. Let's talk. So I just read to you a little bit of the article that Slate Magazine did about this whole thing. And I am also under the assumption and under the mindset that this was nothing more to me than a kind of publicity stunt. They didn't really delve into anything. They didn't really reveal anything. The most scintillating tidbit that they revealed was this whole entanglement notion, which we definitely are going to get into later. But I really want to know what you guys thought. Did you think that this was good for them to come out and say something? Or do you think it really didn't matter? What say you, everyone? I don't see anyone saying anything. Yes, please connect the right way. Watch your video info and leave the comment. Yes, typical queen. Typically queen. Thank you so much. Guys, I don't mind you connecting. Just make sure you connect the right way. This is why the love stays when you connect the right way. We still have 12 watching, 14 thumbs up. Thank you so much. So I was asking, what do you think? Do you think that this was something that helped them or did not help them? Hey, Crystal Christine, thank you so much for coming in. If you could share me out, so please do. Welcome, everyone. So let's talk about entanglements while we're waiting to see if you guys think that this helped or hurt their relationship. So the dictionary defines entanglement as a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. So by that definition, I'm sure there's lots of people here who have had an entanglement. Hi, Auntie Wendy. Are you saying hi to Crystal? Probably saying hi to Crystal. Thank you so much for the 13 in the building. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up and share me out if you can. So entanglement, as the dictionary defines, is a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. So by that, there should be many people who have a complicated or compromising situation or relationship. You think that now people really know that they have an open relationship? April. Yeah, I think it just confirmed everything that that we all suspected. Crystal Christine says this definitely didn't hurt their marriage. This happened for and a half years ago. Right. So whatever happened 4.5 years ago, and if you think back, I do remember a lot of people saying that there was strife in the marriage and that they were headed for divorce. So him saying, "I'm done with your ass," finally kind of crystallized for me that, yeah, they were going through stuff. Because, my grandmother always said, when one person says it, okay, fine. But when five people say it and it's consistent across, then there's some kind of smoke. And when there's smoke, there's fire. So there was some kind of smoke between them two that was happening during that time. Hi, Jody and Simone. No problem. It's fine to connect, but please do connect in the right way. Go to their house, watch a full video, and then comment sincerely on that video. And then come back and let them know that you left them a package, and they will go and scoop you up. They should have left it in the past. I think they wanted to, Auntie Wendy, but I think what happened was August really forced their hand. And I think he's probably coming out with something, maybe an album or something, and maybe he sang about it and something, and he didn't want to be misconstrued when he starts promoting the album and saying that, he did something to break up Will and Jada's marriage. So just make sure that when you do connect, guys, I see a raid coming in. Hey, from Nakin. Thank you guys for coming in from Nakin's raid. Yes, dance for 3 minutes to ensure it sticks. Yes. Yeah, it was unfortunately in the past, and that brought August, and August brought it out, and now they have to relive it again. And I think it's painful for Will. I really think I saw real emotion and real pain in his face when they were discussing it. So I really think that for him, this was hard. But 12 minutes, like I knew it was short, but until they actually said 12 minutes, I was like, wow, this was really interesting that they really just talked about one thing for 12 minutes and didn't have any kind of substance to what they were saying. They had no substance. Having an open relationship, there's a chance of something going wrong. Yeah, I saw a lot of people who talk about open marriages or open relationships, and the number one thing that comes back is the communication. You have to have communication with your partner. You have to be willing to say, okay, partner, there's something that I want outside of what we have that I can only get from another man or another woman, whatever case may be. And then having that conversation about how you feel about that, what are the guidelines, if that's something you want to do, and really having some honest and open talk. Yes, I saw the red table talk, but I would not have entertained August at all. Yeah, I get that. And they could have certainly, swept it under the rug. But I think for me, there's more to the story than just August saying that. I think he's coming out with a project that may allude to some of the things that are going on in the relationship at that time. And I think to head it off at the pass, once he made that announcement, they were like, oh, we may have to say something. I don't think they had an open marriage. They did say they had an open marriage. Yeah. First of all, I don't want to see another woman being intimate with my man. I'm not sharing my Donkey Kong. I know that's right. I know that's right. I'm selfish. Hi, Prince New Chapter. Thank you so much for coming. We're talking about entanglements and being entangled. So, Vern's already said she wouldn't share. Would anyone else entertain it or be slightly intrigued by the notion? Not an open marriage. They were separated and she went too far to me. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. Hi, Zara Vlog. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the big like. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to know about what the Ava said no, I'm sharing. Oh, so you gonna share? Hey, listen, this is why we come here. There's no judgment, there's nothing. This is a judgment-free zone. Do it. As long as you both are in the same place and at the same kind of space and know what you want and what you don't want, and there's total guidelines and rules to what you're doing, what happens in your relationship is your relationship. Crystal Christine said, the only entanglement I be in is giving my pillow some head and my sheet some ass. Hey! I know that's right. Oh, April says she's not sharing. Okay, sorry guys. She's not sharing. She's not sharing. I like that, Crystal Christine. I like that. That was cute. I like that. Hmm. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's go back in the day. Maybe, now that we're married, everybody's, kind of set in what they want. But what about those relationships? You ever had a relationship with a guy or with a girl and you guys aren't serious yet, but then you see somebody else and you're like, he's intriguing or she's intriguing. I want to get to know them better. And you're not married. What say you then? Would you be interested in an entanglement then? Well, I said Bob should be on the scene, should have been on the scene somewhere. All right, so let me catch y'all up for those who don't know what Bob is. Bob is short for battery operated boyfriend. So that's what Bob is. Thank you, Naked Shop, for the raid. Thank you so much for coming in. Guys, if one of my moderators can please drop Naked Shop's link, please, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, that's a good entanglement though with Bob. That'll work. Krista, you feel me? Yes. But what about when you were dating though? Not talking about marriage, talking about just dating. You and your boyfriend been around for a little bit, but someone new catches your eye or someone new catches his eye. What say you? Would you be tempted? Thank you, Crystal, for dropping the link. Would you be tempted or nah? Let's hear it. We got some guys in here. We got some girls in here. What say you? And we're all pretty much content creators, except for my auntie Wendy, and she's going to start creating content soon. So I'm sure you've had lots of people slide up in the DMs as a content creator. What say you? She said, you better look but don't touch. I know that's right. But is that now or was that when you were dating? Because I realize now, because you're married, that totally applies. But when you're dating, absolutely, Crystal. What about those times when you were dating a guy or a girl and holidays pop up and you guys didn't get to spend time together, or he or she will call after the holiday and you do something? Do you think you were in an entanglement then? Do you think that he or she has been possibly in another relationship and then had to circle back to you? Vern said, nah, neither. Okay, you've never had that? I just do food when I'm in a restaurant and home cooked food every now and then. Since this virus has been out, I have not been showing anything. I know that's right. But we're talking about before this. Trying to get at if anyone has been in a compromising situation. Said, nope, I'm jealous. I don't want you to come encounter with no one's sleep sauce. Oh my gosh, not the sleeve sauce. Clutch my pearls. Clutch my pearls. But think back though, have you been in an entanglement and not realized it? Have you been in situations where they don't answer when you call right away? They don't come on the holidays, they come the day after or the day before. My aunt said, any man circle back to me and I am aware of it, he better keep stepping. Yeah, but what if you weren't aware of it? That's what I'm getting at. What if you didn't know? Because I'll be honest, when I was in my teens and first dating, I was definitely in an entanglement. I was definitely in an entanglement. I definitely had my heart broken by my boyfriend, who I thought was just my boyfriend. And it turns out he was a player from the Himalayas. So I was in an entanglement and didn't even realize it. Yeah, I'm so much a man. Do not need another one. All right now. All right now. Yes, thank you, Crystal. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Because I'm like, I know I'm not the only one out there. In my teens, I remember we were going to a ski trip and we were all friends. All of us were friends. And he was throwing it with our friend that we have in common and a bunch of the other guys. So he's like, I got to be, walking around on the bus and I got to be, talking to everybody, blah, blah, blah. So I can't just sit with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get it, whatever. So that's what he did. But little did I know, he had another little piece at the ski trip. So while he's like mingling up the bus and down the bus, making sure everybody had their snacks, making sure everybody had their whatevers, he was kicking it to the next chick on the same bus as me. Yes, when you trade me who is steak and lobster for her who is bread and mayo, his loss. Exactly. But again, you don't know that he's looking at the bread and the mayo because you thinking he couldn't possibly be doing that. We all on the same trip. That's not happening. That's not happening. Yes, I don't know. I have an answer for that one, but when I find out he's done, yes, and when I found out he was done, but until then, I was oblivious because he was giving me attention. He was just walking up and down the bus, making sure everybody had, what they needed, their snacks or whatever, making sure everybody had a good time while we were on the bus ride heading up to the ski slopes. And I was totally oblivious to it all. Yes, I think we got some new people in here. Let me see who's in here. DC, the Purple Diva. Hey. Hola from the West Side. Hey. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to thumbs me up. And if you can, share me out. We're talking about entanglements. And I'm talking about an entanglement that I had back in the day when I was about 18, 19. And we were going up to a ski trip. And my boyfriend at the time had his other little side piece on the bus with us, riding on the bus. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Yes. Girl, when I tell you, I was totally oblivious. So he sat with me, kicked it with me, the whole nine, hugged up with me. And then he'd be like, I'll be right back, baby. And he'd go up, talk to everybody. And then he'd sit down with some and like kick it for a few minutes. Then he'd get up, do the same thing for somebody else. So I had no idea. No idea, because he wasn't really spending a lot of time with her. Slick player that he was. But he would go around and talk. So we get off the bus and everybody's getting their stuff. Everybody's going to their room. He's like, what you doing later? And I'm like, well, I'm going to unpack. Me and the girls are going to, toast it up. We're going to have some fun. And then maybe we'll go over to the hot tub. So he was like, all right, I'll meet you over there later. I'm going to get the boys and then we'll meet you. And when he said, did she know you as his girlfriend? Yeah, by that time, everybody knew I was his girlfriend. Yeah. So she was comfortable being a side chick because she rocked her position. She didn't make any waves. She didn't try anything funny. Like I said, he was just going from seat to seat, saying hello to everybody. It all seemed perfectly normal. I got off the bus. We all got off the bus. We got our stuff. Me and my girls went in our room. Him and his guys went in their room. The girl went in her room with her friends. And yeah, nothing the wiser. Nothing the wiser. Oh, wait, hold on. Crystal Christine said one of my exes was in an entanglement. This fool had a whole baby. Okay. Okay. Exactly. Whole baby. Whole baby. Yeah, I had one of those too. It's actually the same guy had a whole baby. But then I had a whole baby too. It's complicated. It's complicated. Yeah, so here's the thing. He kept us separate throughout the whole trip because I didn't know anything about this until after we got home. That's how slick he was. That's how slick he was. And her, for her count, she rocked her position very well. Like every now and then I look and be like, you know, girls, when you have that inkling, like, she a little too close. She a little too friendly. And then when I asked him about it, he's like, that's my friend. We just friends, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So how I found out about this whole relationship was when we got back from the ski trip. Our friend that we have in common was showing us a bunch of pictures, and he's like, oh, I got pictures back from this person and pictures back from that person, so we're all gonna like put our pictures together and put it in one book. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm looking through the pictures. There's a picture of old girl with my man with his hand on her behind. So he actually took a picture with the chick and was cupping her behind. So I was like, oh. So that's when it all crystallized. Like, you had this girl on a trip with me and her, and you was rocking with her and me the whole trip. Because he spent time with me, but of course he couldn't be in my room because I had my girls in my room and he had his boys in his room. So it wasn't like we was going to be, coupled up in the room together, but we had our moments where we like dipped off on the side from people and just, had time for ourselves. So we took pictures and everything, and he's all cuddled up with me and it's all great. But then I find out he's taking a whole nother set of pictures with old girl cupping this child's behind. Yes. Let me see what y'all talk about. Auntie said she would have got that behind what? Yes. Yes. So yes, that's how I found out, Auntie. We were all sharing pictures, and that picture was in the mix with everything else, and I let his ass have it. Christine said, I wanted to beat that baby right out her ass. I know, but I had to realize the baby had nothing to do with it. Right. It was him. It was him. Yeah, DC the Purple Diva. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's not the baby's fault. Fern said, oh my God, I'm trying to edit a video and can't. Listening to you stop every 2 minutes. Yeah, I was pissed. So we were at this local bar that we all frequent because I don't know if I told you the story, the backstory to this whole thing with my first, like, I guess he was not actually my first. He was my second real relationship, but the first man that I really ever loved. So we all worked together. He worked on the 6th floor. Me and my best friend, who we had in common, was a guy. He and I worked on the 4th floor. So one day I was coming up from the 2nd floor, so we could take an escalator between floors 2 and 6. So I was taking the escalator up. So as I got off the 3rd floor, heading to the escalator to the 4th floor, he saw me. He was coming up the escalator, and he was like, hi, what's your name? And I was like, my name is Shannon. He's like, yeah. He's like, what floor you work on? I said, I work on the 4th floor. He's like, oh yeah, my man's work on the 4th floor. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Who's your man? And he said his name, and I was like, oh, that's my friend. And so when I got off the escalator with him, my friend was at the window because we had like this, we were on the dealer's clearance floor where we take in all the stocks and bonds. So he was at the window where the stockbrokers would put their bonds and stuff in the window to get traded in and say, you know, these are the trades I made, and we'd have to enter them into the system. So he was at the window. And when I came around with the guy, he was like, "Oh, you met da da da." And so I was like, "Yeah, you know, I met him." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool." So he was like, "Well, can I get your phone number?" And I was like, nah. I was like, if I see you again and we have, you know, we have a conversation, then maybe, yeah. So unbeknownst to me, he told my friend that we have in common, yeah, so Shannon said you have her number and you was gonna give it to me. This fool gave him my number. So he called me that night and I was like, hello? We're like, hi. It's, you know, what his name is. And I was like, how'd you get my number? He said, our friend in common, he said he gave it to me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna kick his ass tomorrow. He's like, nah, don't, you know, don't be mad at him. I kind of told him that you told me to get it from him. So I was like, oh, okay. So I should kick your ass. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I'd like to see you do it. So he was like, you know, flirting with me, and we started talking back and forth on the phone. And I just really fell into a real passion with him because I just like the way he talked to me. I like the way he was so interested in what I had to say. And you know, ladies, when a man is very interested in like everything you have to say, you know he's plugged in. That is a kind of a turn on. That makes you think, okay, well, I can actually talk to him about anything and he would be interested in what I have to say. Yeah, without asking me first. Yeah, but he had swagger though, Auntie. I couldn't front. He had a lot of swagger with him. He had a lot of swagger with him. And I kind of like guys who are confident like that. So I didn't mind too much. And remember, I was young, a teenager. What I know about boys for real, for real. I was just like, okay. Um, and then I liked also that he's from, you know, he's part Hispanic like me. So his family was from Honduras. My family is from Panama. So we had that kind of in common. So we can talk about just about anything and everything. And I just fell hard fast. Like he was just it for me. And I don't know if you ladies have ever had that where you just meet a guy and it's just like, wow, like I just want to know what he's thinking every minute of every day. Like I just want to know what's going on with him. I want to know how he feels about certain things. I just want to get into his head and see what he's all about. And I like the fact that even though we were young, we could have those kind of conversations like we were old adults. Because, you know, I'm an old soul and he's an old soul. So we kind of spoke that language and we just really vibed. Yes, it's a turn on, but they want to get to know you. Okay, Crystal, we know that now, but I'm talking about when I was 18, 19. I didn't know that then. I just knew that he was very interested in everything I had to say. And he was just intent. He would just look at me, and it's like he was trying to read inside my soul. Like he was just very deep and very intuitive, you know? Like he just knew what I needed before I even needed it. And he said something very interesting to me that kind of stayed with me throughout my relationships with men. And that was that he knew that I wanted something from him, but he said, I'm not going to give you everything you want, but I'm going to give you everything you need. Who says that to an 18, 19-year-old girl? I'm not going to give you everything you want, but I'm going to give you everything you need. What? What? Oh, honey. He had my nose wide open. He had my nose wide open. So yeah, he wasn't no average. And he's 2 years older than me. So at the time I met him, let's see, I was 18. So he was 20, going on 21. Do you see the purple diva says, my dad is from Cuba. We are Afro-Cuban. Yes! Yes, come on, Afro-Latinas. Yes. Yes. An older man is trying to snatch the cookies. Yes, honey. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Drawers around your ankles. Yes. Had my nose wide open. Wide open. Yes. And then he could speak to me in our language. So it was just sexy. It was sexy. Mm-hmm. Yes. My auntie's Afro-Mexican from Mexico. Yes. Mine would have been pulled to the side. I'm telling you, ladies, it was really, really intense. And I think that to me also was a testament to our dynamic because his magnetism just drew me in. Just drew me in. And then, to top it off, like he just knew me. You ever have a man that just knows your body, like just knows what to do? Like he was only 2 years older than me, but he knew what to do with my body. I didn't even know what to do with my body at 18, 19. He knew what to do. He knew what to do. Auntie said, right, pull to the side. It was just, really, really hot. So that's what I'm saying. Like I was in an entanglement. I was entangled with this guy. And he had like, even after that whole thing happened, and I was pissed. Oh, y'all, I was really mad. Hey, Wendy, welcome to the party. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to thumbs up. And guys, if you can share me out, please do. So he, after that whole thing, and you think, okay, girl, I know you want to say you was done with him, right? Wrong. I wasn't done. After that whole thing, he went to, where did he go? He went to North Carolina with the guys. He went to North Carolina, I think, with the guys. And I was pissed. Like we were talking back and forth, but I was like, I was Will Smith. I'm like, I'm done with your ass. I'm done. And he called me from North Carolina. And I remember it was raining. And it was raining where he was, and it was raining in New York where I was. And I picked up the phone and he started talking. He was like, look, I'm drunk and I know you're going to think this is just drunk talking, but I just want to tell you, and I could hear like the rain beating hard in the background. This is back in the day when they had the phone booths or whatever. So you could hear like the rain beating against the pane. And he was just like, I'm sorry and I love you. And I think that was the first time he ever said that he loved me. And I was like floored, because here this man is on my phone. It's the middle of the night. The rain is beating down. And he's telling me he loves me after this whole thing had went down and we're not speaking and we're beefing or whatever. And he's pouring his heart out to me, drinking and saying that he wants me back and he loves me. So I was like, when you get back, we'll talk. When you get back, we'll talk. And he was like, okay, bet when we get back, we'll have a talk. And when he got back, we stayed in my room. And it's this time, I think I was living with my mother now. Yeah, 18. Yeah, I was living with my mother now. And I had been living with her for about a year. So I had my own room and, I paid my own bills because I worked my own job. So I could have a guy in my room. It was no big deal. My mother's more like my sister than a mother in that regard. And so we were talking for hours. It was like 3:00 in the morning when he finally was like, can I just lay here and go to sleep? I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, you can lay here and go to sleep. And he just laid down beside me. He like cuddled his head in my chest and just like cried and was like, I'm so glad that we had this talk. I'm so glad that we were able to hash everything out. And, I really, it wasn't until I came close to losing you that I realized that I want to make a relationship work with you. And so making this a full circle moment, I think that with Will and Jada, I think they had their own kind of full circle moment beyond the cameras. I think 4 years ago, he was done with her. She was kind of done with him or whatever happened. And they did whatever they did privately. Unfortunately, now it's come up again, so they have to relive it. But I think in doing so, they had that kind of full circle moment where Will is like, we're here, we're in this. And I remember him and her always saying, we're not getting a divorce because for us, divorce is not an option. And I applaud that. And I wish I had that. But for me, in my marriage, divorce absolutely had to be an option. And this is not a topic for discussion today, but we definitely will get into it more later. But suffice it to say, I was like, yeah, no, I really feel like at that stage in time, like he made a mistake and he admitted it. He owned up to what he did, and it was in my court to whether I accepted that or whether I moved on from it. And so for me, I accepted what he did and we moved on from it. And we had a good relationship for a long time. But again, things rear its ugly head once again. And that time he had took it too far and I just could not forgive. So that's why, he's not in my life today, but in that realm. But suffice it to say, I I really feel like he was the first relationship that I ever felt like was a real romantic, serious kind of relationship back and forth. So I'm gonna open the floor up. If anybody else has a entanglement that they would like to talk about, feel free to share. If you want to come up to the panel and talk about it, come on up. I'll throw the link down. Anybody want to come and talk about it? I'll throw the music on while we're waiting to see if anybody wants to come up. Here, I'll throw down the link. So I'm throwing down the link, Burns, if anybody wants to come up and talk about a entanglement that they had. An entanglement that you had. Have you ever been in a complicated or compromising relationship or situation? I told you mine, so tell me yours. Talk about the entanglement. Girl, come on up. Burns, I know you got one. Auntie said I had to let my husband go because he was married to me and seeing his ex-wife. See, exactly. 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 You can put your picture up. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to show your face, Auntie. You can turn the camera off. Hi, Sassy Rain. The Aaron is still woke. You can't talk. Okay. Vern said, let me close the door. Yeah, close the door. Come on up. Come on up. Matthew, hello. Welcome so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. All you have to do is click the link, Auntie. If you're on your computer, or even if you're on your phone, I think you can still click the link. He thinks I'm a good girl. As far as he knows, I was an angel. I still am an angel. I still am an angel. Thank you for coming, Matthew. Don't forget to thumbs up. And if you can, share me out. I know there's some guys in there. There's some guys out here. Matthew, anybody want to come up and talk about an entanglement that they may have had? Any compromising situations? Times you might have been less than honest? Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're talking about entanglements today. We're talking about entanglements. And it's defined as a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. So we're talking about complicated situations, complicated relationships, whether it's past or present. And what happened? I just finished telling the story of my own complicated relationship that I had. Hey, Princess Lizzie, thank you so much for coming, baby. We're talking about compromising entanglements. Will and Jada kind of opened the door to this notion. So we want to see what you have to say. Has anybody else ever been in an entanglement? And I dropped the link, so if you wanted to come up and share. Oh, Auntie. Auntie, you have my number. You can call me and I can patch you in. You could talk on the phone. Do you have my number? I think you do. I'll send it. I'll text you. I think I have yours still. Let me see. Yeah, mine was from the past. I was 18, 19 years old. All right. I see Verns is backstage. Oh, all right. I'll have to give it to you. I'll shoot it to you on Facebook. I'll put it in the direct message. Hey, Verns.
Shh. Did you hear me?
I can.
Shh. I'm in disguise.
You in disguise? You need Natasha?
This is LaQuisha.
LaQuisha?
So,
Oh my goodness.
let me know if you can hear me.
I can.
Okay. This was back in my Tatiana days, okay?
Hey. Listen,
You make
we
me
all
sick. I
had
can't
those
with you.
days.
I can't with you. So, I do have a past. Hello. So yeah, I had I guess a man, but he wasn't acting right.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a younger one who kept trying to get at me, and I kept pushing him away. Not too young, like 2 years younger, but still
Mm-hmm.
he's younger.
Right.
It was an entanglement.
Exactly.
Not on purpose. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like I meant to do it. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. It wasn't like that. It was a situation.
Right. Right. We all get in situations.
It's a situation, and girl got to do what a girl got to do.
Right.
And I didn't realize the man was coming over.
He was what?
He was coming over, but he didn't tell me he was coming over, so he surprised me. But I said I was just braiding his hair. That's all.
Oh my gosh.
Now you got to remember, this is back in New York City, so things are a little bit different.
Well, listen, New
So the
York is
issue
totally
at the
different
time.
now. New York is
So
totally different now. We can't do them things no more.
all I could say is everybody started running. How about that?
Uh-oh. What? Oh, Lord.
All I heard was everybody started running.
Oh, my God.
It's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but
Yes,
it's funny now. But yeah, but hey, it was an entanglement.
it was an entanglement. Yes. Oh my goodness. Crystal Christine said from now on, 2020 is a whole entanglement. Yep, 2020 is an entanglement.
Right.
2020 is definitely an entanglement. Oh my gosh.
But like you said, when you're young and you're not serious either way. I wasn't serious either way, so I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. But when you look back at it, it was that. But I wasn't trying to do it on purpose, saying, "Oh well, I'm definitely gonna have someone else." It wasn't like that. Unfortunately, like the people we're talking about, they already knew what was going to happen. But like I said, when feelings and things get involved, I don't care how
Mm-hmm.
open it is, how much communication you're having. No, when you're with that person, you need to let me know what time and what day. It doesn't always happen like that.
Right.
And I think they just got caught up in it. And I still think that she was wrong. I think that she sought him out because
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't there for that. In my opinion, he didn't come there originally for that. He came there to get help.
Mm-hmm.
He came here to get help and to get sober and other things. And
Right.
I feel she took advantage of him.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, and I could be wrong. Maybe he thought if he didn't, that they wasn't gonna help him. They was gonna put him out because he was destitute at that time.
Wow. Yeah, I'm hearing his story now and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I didn't know that so many things happened to this guy.
Yep. So think about it: drugs and not
Mm-hmm.
having nowhere to go, and then you have this older woman who is attractive. I'm not gonna lie, she's cute, but he probably was like between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
And I
And
don't care how much he says the man says, yes, you could. No man wants to see his wife with another man.
no.
I'm sorry. I don't care if you guys agree to it or not.
Mm-hmm. No.
And that was more than an entanglement.
It was a straight up affair, but she didn't want to say that.
Exactly.
I don't think she wanted to
Exactly.
say that. So I got Auntie Wendy on. She's on my phone. I'm going to put her on speaker.
Oh, okay.
Say hi, Auntie Wendy.
Hi, sweetheart.
Can everybody hear her?
Can everybody hear me?
I can step down, so maybe my thing is pulling her down.
Okay.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, LaQuisha.
Bye.
All right. So let's turn you up a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Guys, can you hear her?
I can get down
I'm waiting for them to tell me if they can hear you or not.
there. Okay. Maybe I need to put my earpiece on.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. I don't have a picture.
No.
I don't know how to put a picture up.
That, that's not. Oh, yeah, they hear you. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Hi. I just wanted to say my entanglement was my husband. We were married, and he decided he wanted to see his ex-wife on the side, and I got a phone call for one of his best friend's wives. And she told me that he was still in contact with his ex-wife. So his word to me was, well, can't you two just be friends? And I said, you can have her. And he was like, you're not going to fight for me? No, Negro, no. You can go and you can keep her.
Right.
Now she's saying, you can have him back. I don't want him. No, he's yours.
Right.
I don't know them people no more.
Exactly.
So he is no longer with me.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be bothered. He's still trying to, I'm coming to Brooklyn and I'm going to take you out. I said, you come here, I'm going to violate you. real good, buddy. You ain't gonna never want to see me again. So he stays away.
That's right.
I don't play them games. You don't be giving my yang away like that.
That's right. That's right.
She should have kept him while she had it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told him, I said, you traded in steak and lobster for bread and mayonnaise. So keep your bread and mayonnaise.
That's right.
Huh?
I don't want you no more.
No more, baby. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to come on to say that, and I will say this, ladies, don't play second best.
That's right.
First.
That's right.
You heard me?
We heard you, Auntie Wendy. You heard her.
All right, now. All right.
All right. Thank you, Auntie.
I love you, my sweetness.
I love you more.
Can't wait to see you again.
Same here.
All right, baby.
Bye-bye. That's right, ladies. Listen to Auntie Wendy. Hardneck, yes. Wendy's in the house. I love it. No backsies. Once you leave, that's it. That's it. There's no coming back. But that's the thing. Like, you ever had a man who's like, all right, y'all broke up. It's done. It's over, whatever. But yeah, he keeps coming back. He keeps trying to come back. He keeps trying to like do little things to kind of get you back into his good graces. And for me, I'm not 16, 17, 18 anymore. I'm not in my 20s anymore. So I don't play those kind of games anymore. So once I'm done with you, I'm done. It's a wrap. Goodbye. So I don't go back and try to, okay, let's see if we can get back together. Those days are gone. So once I'm done, I'm done. It's a wrap. Wendy said, heck yeah. That's right. That's right. NFL, Little Tay, thank you so much for coming. Yes. Wait, I didn't see that. Crystal Christine said, these men want to have their cake and eat it too. Exactly. Exactly. Well, hell, in Jada's case, these women want to have their cake and eat it too. Because she was very bold sitting up there like, and what? I did it, and what? What you gonna do? You ain't gonna leave me. That's that Virgo swagger, though. I can feel that Virgo energy. We're actually a day apart. Our birthdays are a day apart. So I get it. I get the swagger. But Lord have mercy. That was, yeah, no cake. I love it. When he said no cake. No cake for you. That's right. Oh, the Wendy's are saying hi to each other. Nice. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to come up and say what kind of entanglement they were in or are in? Anybody else want to come up? I'll drop the link again if you want to come up. LaQuisha, you want to come back? Foodie is Aaron sleeps. You can come on. You need an alias too. You need to borrow Natasha. You know Natasha get it popping. Natasha gets it popping. Thank you to the 10 who's still in the building. I so appreciate you. Don't forget, if you haven't already, thumbs up this live. And if you can, share me out. I'm going to be here for another few minutes. I'm not gonna do as long a time as I did last time. I want to take off this makeup and I want to get in the bath, take a bubble bath, and finish the rest of this wine. Oh, you got the volume turned up? Okay. Okay. He going to bed soon? Okay. Chris, you want to come up and talk about it, or you want to just write it in the chat? I'll read it. All when I say I mean, or my ex tried to get back with me, and you know what I said? No, I don't want your number. No, I don't want you. That's right. I don't want no script. I know that's right. Once I'm done, I'm done. There is no coming back. There is no coming back. But girls, if you treat them good, they gonna always remember you. They gonna always remember you, because that's one thing I can say. Anyone that I've ever dated, they all have very fond memories of me and wish I didn't kick them to the curb. But if you don't do right, you got to go. If you don't do right, you got to go. That's right. That's right. That's what you got to do, ladies. That's what you got to do. Okay. Who's laughing? Rose is laughing. Yes. All right. One more thing before I let you guys go. Facts. Oh, yes. Tell them, DC. Tell them again. Facts. Always be the one that got away. Exactly. And they will tell you too. I got engaged at, well, the first time I got engaged, I was 17. Yeah, because I was still in high school. And I got engaged with this guy. And I thought I loved him, right? Thought I loved him. Thought he loved me. And he used to do construction on the side for his father, worked for his father's company. And one day he was like, I gotta, renovate this apartment. So I've been staying there. So, when you come from school, because I was in school at the time, he was like, when you come from school, if you come from work, because I was in a co-op program where I worked one week and went to school one week. So he was like, if you ever want to crash here or whatever, I'll give you the key and, you can come and crash here. So like, okay. So ladies, when you get that feeling, right? That thing that just keeps nagging at you like something's not right. So all day at work, I just had this feeling like something's just not right. And I went to the house that he was renovating and got the key, opened the door, came in. This fool was in the bed with another woman, butt naked. So they had just, I guess, finished, or they was like sleeping for the night or whatever. But this fool left the iron on. And I tell you, I grabbed that iron and I threw it at the bed. And I guess I threw it at her, like on her side and not his side, because it hit her. And she jumped up out of the bed. That's how I knew she was naked, because she jumped up out of the bed, which caused him to wake up and jump out of the bed. And I jumped on him like a wild hyena. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you are the one that gave me the key and said to me to come in whenever I want to. So how can you bring the next chick in here, have sex with her, and then like blatant in my face? I'm like, how do you do that? So I jumped on him and I commenced to wailing on his behind like you wouldn't believe. And he's like, oh, the sorry, sorry, sorry. She don't mean nothing to me. She's just done talking, blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's just now mind you, the girl's still in there. And she's trying to grab her clothes and get out. And he's gonna say, oh, she don't mean nothing to me. She was a crackhead. She was wanting some money from me, blah, 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 blah. And then I told her, she want money from me. She had to, do something for me. And that's how she ended up in the bed. And this girl was just like, I am not saying nothing. Like, she just was grabbing her stuff. She didn't even put her clothes on. She left naked. I don't know if she dressed outside in the hallway or what. But me and him are still arguing and fighting. But I see her like grabbing her stuff and whatever to go. And I'm like, you not gonna get that about? You got in the bed with her, you did all this stuff with her, might as well stay with her. And I'm going to leave. And he's like pulling me like, no, 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 don't leave, don't leave. If anything, she's leaving, da, 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 da. She don't mean nothing to me. She's nothing, she's nothing. I said, oh, okay. So we're still arguing back and forth. And I finally was just like, yeah, the disrespect. That was just, I mean, I'm looking back at it now and thinking, I was like, wow, one, I could have really killed this chick because an iron is very heavy. But two, like I jumped on him and I scratched his face up. I pulled his hair out. It got really well. I got really, really violent. But again, 17, 18, what do I know? What do I know? So I left. I took my ring off, I threw it at him, and I left. I hailed a cab and I went home. And I remember I was living with my grandmother at the time. This is, I think, the last year. Yeah, this is the last year that I lived with her because I was still in high school. And then my first year and a half of college, I lived with my mother. And then I went back to live with my grandmother. We'll talk about those times another day. But when I went home to my grandmother's house, she was still up because she always like worried about me, and she would never rest until I got in the house. So when I got home, she was home. She was up, and I didn't want her to see my face because I was crying, and my mascara was running, and I was just, hi, holla at Jimmy. I see you came in. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to thumbs up. We're talking about entanglement, and I'm talking about another entanglement that I kind of got myself into when I was younger. So that's what we're talking about right now. So thank you so much for coming. So I went home to my grandmother and I cried and my mascara was running, and she sat me down and she was like, honey, a man is only gonna do what you allow him to do. And you gave him free reign to do whatever he wanted because you didn't require anything. And I thought about that. I'm like, well, no, I didn't require anything. I didn't require him to be faithful. I didn't say like, this is what you needed to do. I just thought that was done. And she was like, you probably had many situations where he slipped up and maybe called somebody, or slipped up and maybe looked at somebody when you guys were walking a little too hard. Like all those times that he kind of made those quote unquote slip ups, you should have checked them then. And then when you think about it, there are lots of times where like, okay, your man said so and so, or if he's flirting a little too hard or something, check him. Never check the woman. Never, and don't throw an iron at her, for God's sakes. You could kill a girl. But really, you gotta look at yourself and what from the outside in you have done in that relationship. Things that you saw in him or in her, not judging. If the girl did it, you gotta look at it and say, there was something there and I missed that sign. One of my friends had his ex cheat on him repeatedly and had the audacity to leave pictures under their bed. Right, like this is what I'm talking about. Like when my grandmother used to say men are dogs and women are cats, I'm like, why you say that? And she used to say, well, because a man will poop everywhere, right? Because you think of a dog poops. And then what does he immediately do after he poops or she poops? Tries to cover it up, right? But it's never covered. The dog never covers up his poop all the way. He may throw it with his back leg somewhere, but it's never completely gone. Whereas a cat will bury that shit and you won't see it. Excuse me, guys. So when my grandmother broke it down to me like that, I had to say, got it. Because the cat will cover up their stuff so that you never know what happened. But a dog will always leave signs that he did something. So you got to think about those signs and what they are. And even for someone as slick as Jada, and I'm not saying that Will didn't do his dirt. We just didn't hear about it. But for Jada, she covered it up. But I think what got in her way was August. And the fact that he got his feelings totally caught up in the mix to the point where he just could not hide it anymore. And that kind of forced their hand. Good night, Ferns. Thank you so much, LaQuisha, for coming and hanging out with us and telling us that great story. I'm going to call you LaQuisha on the DL from now on, right? When I want the real story, I'm going to call LaQuisha. Let me holler at her for a second. Let me holler at LaQuisha for a second. But she gonna tell it. Yes, guys. So yeah, I mean, we've all had those moments, I think, and we've all had those retrospective moments where you gotta look and say, the signs were there, I just did not pick up on it. Or that was I don't know, DC. Wasn't now I gotta look and see. Wasn't he on the red table a while ago? I gotta look and see. I can't remember if he was on the red table. I cannot remember if he was on the red table. But now I gotta look and see. But all that to say, we've all had our entanglements. We've all had those issues, whether male, female, what have you. And you just gotta know your partner and know yourself. Know yourself. Oh, Auntie Wendy said, yes, he was. Now I gotta look and find it. Ooh, the plot thickens. The plot thickens. He was actually on the red table. Exactly. Wow. Chris Christine said, see, the thing is, Will knew he didn't find out when the world found. Oh no, we know that they knew about this for several years, because he said it happened 4 or 5 years ago. And if you think back to 4 or 5 years ago, Will was doing movies, and there were a lot of things coming out in the tabloid about how they were living apart. They weren't living together. And I think even they were saying something about how Will and oh gosh, Tisha Campbell's husband, Dwayne Campbell, how him and Will went on a vacation or something together. And we were all like, oh, okay, well, are they like together? Like, what's going on? And so he was like, I was done with your ass. So I'm thinking like maybe he went on and did whatever he wanted to do, whether it was with Dwayne or what have you. Because then after that came out, like 2 years later, Dwayne and Tisha get a divorce, seemingly out of nowhere. But again, there were grumblings around that they were also going through an open relationship or whatever. And then it was alluded to that maybe him and Will were having a thing. So, I mean, I'm waiting for somebody to really do some investigation work, because I have a feeling that there's a lot more to this story. We just need to put the jigsaw puzzle together. Yeah, he did say he was going to get back to her on that one, but she said, when he said the first time, she said, you already did. And I remember hearing that and thinking, oh, okay, so this was a tit for tat thing. That's what happened. It was a tit for tat. But maybe it's not a tit for tat. Maybe it was just, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. But Jada and August got all caught up or whatever. And I remember somebody was saying even that they had like a secret wedding, like maybe they were doing like the vows or whatever, like that. I forgot what they call that kind of wedding, a commitment ceremony, where they were just, committing to one another, and they had like a spiritual marriage. Interesting. Foodie saying good night to Verns. DC, Purple David, remember the interview too. Okay. Good night. Yeah. Both of them broke the swingers. Yes, both of them broke the swingers code. That's how it turned into a tit for tat. Exactly. So guys, I won't hold you up anymore. We've been on for almost 2 hours. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. Let's turn on our music to wrap this all up. Yes. Oh, you said Tisha's best friends with a friend of mine? We got to delve into that a little bit more. Maybe on the next version. Next week. Let's get into that. Let's get into that, DC Purple Diva. I'm going to invite you up next week. We're going to talk about that. Thank you so much. Aww. Yes. Exactly. Thank you so much for coming. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week. I think I'm going to go back to my original time at 9. We'll see how that feels. But until then, hey, you've been bellified. Thank you for coming and unwinding with me. Whining and have a little bit of wine. Yes, Bella After Dark is where it's at on Thursday nights. Yes, we get it popping over here. Unwind, wine, and we have some wine. Yes. Bye, everyone. Yes, have a great night. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, goodbye, everybody. Here's the journey on the red table, right? Hey, have a good night, everyone. I will see you back here next Thursday for some more Bedtime with Bella. Mm-hmm. Yes. Good night, everybody. Hey. Mm-hmm.